Hi, welcome to High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki. HTDC is the state's tech evangelist, so we support all things tech, innovation, entrepreneurship, and manufacturing. And there's so many awesome things going on in Hawaii, and this is the place where we showcase them. And our first awesome guest has an awesome company, and they're also at the Innovation Center, the Manoa Innovation Center. And my guest today is Mike Hernandez Soria. He is also a 40 under 40 winner this year.
Oh, that's right.
PBN. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very good. So for those of us that don't know what Hawaiian Cool Water is your company?
So Hawaiian Cool Water is a company that is devoted to creating high quality water for people to consume, for them to drink, eat in ice, have in coffee, without the need for bottled water. So we do a lot of things where we partner with companies, and that's where we feel we can have the biggest impact right now. We eventually feel like we'll move into residential, but working with large companies allows us to make the biggest impact the most quickly. The biggest area of what we do is we replace 5-gallon jug delivery for offices. So a huge portion of bottled water is delivered, and most offices get, 85–90% of offices get bottled water delivered to them in the form of 5-gallon jugs. Yes.
I did not know that.
It's a huge market for that.
Yeah.
That's when you see the bottled water trucks on the street, generally they're delivering bottled water to offices. Retail is another huge component of the bottled water industry. But what we're focused on right now is we have a great solution to eliminate the need for 5-gallon jugs. And we have a superior product that costs less, that's more convenient, and will really help people get off bottled water. And nowhere is that more important than Hawaii.
Definitely. And this kind of looks like one of those 5-gallon water dispensers.
Yes. It looks actually very similar. So the whole idea of it is that it's a water cooler. So you're getting hot and cold water like you would out of one of those 5-gallon jug coolers. But no more lifting of those bottles and having to deal with that. But in addition to that, what we're doing is we're layering on more sophisticated technology that really allows us to provide a much better value proposition than bottled water. So for example, this is a firewall system. This is the lowest end, most economical unit that we have that has a firewall technology in it. And one of the issues that you see with bottled water coolers is, of course, bottled water doesn't have chlorine in it. Everybody knows that, right?
Okay.
It's had that all taken out, and that's part of the reason you buy bottled water is you don't want chlorine in it. So what you have when you have a regular water cooler, you have the bottles travel on trucks to get to you, and they're exposed to the air, and they get dust on them, and then when they get to you, they sit in the corner, and then somebody picks them up with their hands who they might have washed or not washed, and then they take that bottle and they put it right into the water cooler. On the other side of that, you have at the spout where people are taking their glass and putting it up and letting water into their used plastic bottle that they bought at lunch. They're introducing bacteria at the spout. So when you do bacteria testing on these bottled water coolers, it's actually kind of surprising the amount of stuff that you'll find growing in there. And they aren't cleaned on a regular basis. And even if they are, there's been studies that show that people are transferring germs to each other at work through the water cooler. And a large percentage of the time when people are getting sick at work, they're getting sick from each other at the water cooler. So how do you fix that problem?
Get out.
You put a UV light in the spout.
Oh.
And you shine that UV light through the spout as the water is dispensing to prevent any bacteria from coming up into it. And then on the other end,
That's the firewall.
that's the firewall.
Bacteria firewall.
Exactly. It's a UV light that blocks bacteria from coming into the cooler. And should anything happen with the water, that there would be bacteria in it after our amazing purification system that's producing that same quality of water that you would get from a bottled water plant, the UV will also remove any of that bacteria. Or it won't remove it so much as it will kill it all and sanitize it. So what you have is something that is far superior to bottled water, a bottled water cooler, because you don't have to lift it up. You don't have the bacteria potential of contamination. So this is the kind of thing that's going into hospitals. This is the kind of thing that's going
I
into.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, HR directors that care about their workers are realizing that they're actually putting them at risk with the 5-gallon jugs, because they thought on the one hand they were doing something good, but then they realized the back injuries and the cross-contamination issues. This is superior, so they're moving to this. On the mainland, you'll see technologies like this are replacing bottled water in a much higher percentage than they are in Hawaii. But the main thing is that people need to remember is not only is this better in all these ways, but there was a great op-ed in the New York Times this weekend that talked about the plastic in the ocean and how the garbage in our ocean is just accelerating at a rapid pace. And a huge percentage of that, I mean, the most popular drink that people are buying and consuming right now is water. It's bottled water.
So crazy.
And for the most part, it's unnecessary. When you know that something like this exists and you can drink out of something like this, you don't need to buy bottled water anymore. You can do something like this instead.
Definitely.
And it's just better.
And then also, you're not, I mean, it looks like you're just kind of a water service provider, but it's actually technology. It's patented technology?
Well, yeah, there is patented technology that is in here. We don't hold all of the patents that are in here. A number of them come from one of our great suppliers, WaterLogic. They're based out of the UK, United Kingdom. And they actually own the firewall technology patent. We've trademarked our own water purification system. We're working on the patents for that.
Great.
So, but we're a young company and want to get it right before we file.
That's great. And you were recently in the news as well for expanding, which is awesome news. So tell me about that. How did that come about?
That's actually a really interesting thing, and not too many people have asked me about that. But it's a very exciting opportunity. So we had the chance to purchase a company on the mainland. They were possibly the oldest manufacturer and distributor of drinking fountains
like
in the
fountains?
U.S. Like old school, like drinking fountains. Exactly, like water fountains, like you had in elementary school, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And in fact, they're like leading provider in Southern California to schools and governments and all kinds of stuff. And drinking fountains are ubiquitous, and that's what people used to drink water out of, right? Before bottled water, you used to go to the drinking fountain and get a drink. So we're really looking forward to not only bringing the Hawaiian Cool Water technology to the mainland and bringing that brand to the mainland and bringing awareness of what all this bottled water consumption is doing to Hawaii. We hope that people will realize by marketing ourselves as a Hawaii company on the mainland that people will recognize the impact more vividly than they otherwise would. Because here we are, we're the ones living in the middle of this ocean where all the garbage is floating around. But the opportunity to do something interesting with the drinking fountain business and to take those thousands of customers that they have and show them, it really sort of allows us to talk to those customers, have an instant introduction through the existing relationship, and then also to do drinking fountains here in a better way.
So would these replace drinking water fountains? Is it going to be something like this, or it's going to be?
I mean, a number of our customers have used these to replace drinking fountains. But a drinking fountain is a unique thing. You don't need a cup to drink out of it. It's very convenient. They are, they have even higher market share than bottled water.
But those could totally use the firewall.
Yeah, right? They could. So we're going to have to figure out a way. We're working on ways to improve drinking fountains, make them a better product so that people use them more and they have a better alternative. Yeah, so we're very excited about that.
That is very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. My guest today is Michael Hernandez Soria of Hawaiian Cool Water. And this is High Growth with HTDC on ThinkTech Hawaii, and we'll be right back.
Aloha, my name is Willow Chang Alion, and I host a show called The Art of Life. We air live every Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. And what we do is basically we focus on individuals who create a unique sense of place for Hawaii. These are movers and shakers, artists, innovators. They are also traditionalists. They're all involved in the archival process, and they make this place a unique place, one that makes Hawaii a richer place to be. I hope you do join us, and certainly tell your friends about the show, whether they live here or they live abroad. It's a way to give back to our community. We're keeping it pono.
Hi, welcome back to High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and my guest today is Michael Hernandez Soria from Hawaiian Cool Water. And we were just discussing how he is expanding to the mainland by acquiring a water fountain company. And I had asked him, is it like, why did you make this decision? This is a huge decision for your company.
It's a big decision for a company to do something like that. Yeah. I've done acquisitions before, so it's not something, buying other companies is not something that's unfamiliar to me as sort of a way to grow our company and
with
a way to
Hawaiian
expand with Hawaiian Cool Water.
With other companies?
Well, with other companies.
Okay.
So Hawaiian Cool Water, we started in Hawaii from scratch. It was me in a van when we started. But in my past entrepreneurial experience, we did do acquisitions, and that was a way that we used to grow my last company. And in this case, that is definitely, I think we were able to get comfortable with the acquisition, partially because I've done them before. But it allows us to expand our footprint, grow in scale, lower costs, deliver better products to our customers, more products to our customers, get more direct relationships with our vendors and our suppliers. It really on so many levels really enhances our ability to grow.
So you had been looking for someone to acquire as part of like your strategy.
Yeah, and we continue to look for people to acquire.
Wow.
We're not actually finished doing that. I think if there were other opportunities to acquire companies, we would be thrilled to look at that. So
does this mean this is something that you can actually bring back to Hawaii as well?
Exactly. Yeah.
Doing water fountains as part of your lineup.
Yes, and in fact we're already starting to offer them to customers, and
that's great. Where can we see one of your coolers out and about?
Well, I think a lot of our coolers, it's amazing. Like water coolers are not something that you generally see out and about, right?
That's true. They're kind of like hidden. Back of the house kind of thing.
Totally. I mean, we're in Ala Moana Mall, right? We have a number of retail locations at Ala Moana Mall.
Okay. Yeah,
but they're in the break room
yeah.
for the employees. You're not going to see them like in the center
That's
of it. Yeah.
So how do you market? If you're not like out.
You go on wonderful television shows like this where thousands of people are going to watch this show. But we're trying to get the word out as much as we can. Generally, plumbing type products like this don't do well on television.
But this is a different kind of product. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And then you said you grew here in Hawaii. Why did you choose to do that?
Well, first of all, I wanted to live in Hawaii, but
because it's the best.
Because it's the best. So let's take that huge excuse right off the table and come up with another reason for wanting to start a company here. But other than wanting to live here, I saw technologies like this being deployed by other companies on the mainland. I did not see it happening in Hawaii. I saw an opportunity here to really raise awareness in Hawaii to do something good for the environment here and to help it get moving here. But also by taking the Hawaii brand both to the mainland and eventually also to Asia, I hope that Hawaii can actually stand as can represent the reason that you want to save the oceans, because Hawaii is a very concrete example in people's mind. Everybody knows where Hawaii is. They've seen pictures. If they haven't been themselves, they know it's a beautiful place. If garbage is sort of floating in the ocean, it doesn't directly, you don't see it, you don't think it affects anyone. But if you know that it's affecting Hawaii, you might do something about it.
Interesting. And I think a lot of times people selling Hawaii or Hawaiian branded, it has some cash, like just some recognition of Hawaii. Oh, very good. So it sounds like you guys are doing well.
The company is doing very well, yes.
And so do you already have, so I guess you've acquired mainland customers, so you started to service those customers, or you kept the whole company kind of
We haven't made
intact?
dramatic changes in that business yet. We're kind of, we're sort of getting organized and introducing the employees to the Hawaii products, and we still have a very rapidly growing business here in Hawaii, so I really haven't spent enough time on the mainland yet. So we're kind of, eventually,
Are you hiring?
We are.
Just gotta throw it out there.
I would say that right now, finding qualified candidates for our open positions is one of our biggest challenges to growth right now.
Wow.
We are hiring for office support, we are hiring for sales, we are hiring on the service side, really on any part of our business. If people have experience, if I could please talk to you, if you know someone who's really good, we would like to hire them. Feel free to apply online or on our website at HawaiianCoolWater.com. Use the Contact Us feature. We seriously, we are looking for an office manager for sales support, sales people. It's direct sales, so you'll be out doing business to business, calling on customers, and then service and installation. So if you like holding a drill and you like working with water coolers, we have a job for you.
Awesome, very good. That's great for people looking for a job. Thank you so much for coming out here. My guest today has been Mike Hernandez Soria from Hawaiian Cool Water. This is High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.